Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So this is my fourth foray into ceramic coating, my third one that I'm going to be testing and applying to my new Nissan Rogue. This is Adams Paint Coating. They have several different products and different product lines. And as with my other ones, what I've done is followed other independent testers that have already gone through, checked these out for years. And this has been proven to be one of the very best top runners as far as durability. So let's take a look and see what's in this box. This is their mid-level kit. They offer just the bottle of ceramic coating if you have all of the tools already. I can always use some more supplies and tools, and the cool thing was Amazon had this kit for just literally a couple dollars more than the raw bottle, so why not? We're gonna get a couple microfiber towels here, always good to have those, and a bunch of microfiber application cloths. It looks like they're the larger size. I like these. I've got a bunch of little ones too. And we've got a couple applicators, always good to have also. And these look like they're using the material from this type of cloth, which is cool. I do have a bunch of these foam type applicators, but they're the bigger, fluffier type, which are really good for applying things to leather, but this is better for ceramic coating because it goes on smoother. Then we have the bottle itself. Now this is a 9H. You'll see these in different H designations, usually from 5 to 9 for what you can buy as a consumer, and that is simply how long it's going to last. As far as the marketing goes, you still need to verify third party how well it actually works. And like I said, this is going to be years and years already proven great coating quality. So that's why I'm trying this one here. Now this particular one, this might be the only one on the market. It may not be, I'm just not aware of any. And it's just a marketing kind of thing. It's nothing you actually need for applying these, but this is UV reactive. So it makes it, or at least it should make it easier to apply. If you're new and you don't know exactly how to turn your head and see things in the right light to make sure you've got an even coating, what you can do is once you put it on the car, just hit it with a UV light and it glows. So you'll be able to see exactly if you missed any spots. But if you've done it enough, you know what kind of sheen you're looking for, and it's easy enough to see. So don't worry about that if whatever you choose to go doesn't react with UV light. And this bottle is big enough to do a couple full-size vehicles, no problem. If you're doing motorcycles, probably 8 to 10 on the average bike, if it has fairings, of course. And then we have some surface prep. This is important for stripping any kind of excess wax or paint or anything that was in your car wash soap, anything like that, before you apply this. Always important. Otherwise, you've got to clean it off yourself. If you don't have any of this, it's basically probably just isopropyl alcohol. Doesn't say, but that's really all you need. You can wipe things down with isopropyl alcohol. And then we have a bottle of Ceramic Boost, which is basically quick detailer with a little bit of the ceramic coating in it. So it kind of just refreshes it in between washes, that kind of thing. Not needed, but again, freebie in the kit, why not? Got a little brochure and some install instructions. They're all the same. There's nothing magic about applying any of these. And a couple spritz and some gloves, and that's what's in the box. So let me give you a real world feedback here, since I'm in the middle of this, on the Chemical Guys Hydro Slick. This is the gel-based, again, ceramic coating. It's been a couple weeks. It's still fresh. I mean, it's still performing as it should. Now, I stand by my recommendation for this for what it is. Extremely inexpensive. 30 bucks at Walmart or just about any auto store around here at least. A little bit more direct. Amazon also has it cheaper. And super easy to apply, almost impossible to goof up. That's all there is to it. And you get dozens of applications. You can see it didn't even barely go down. Went down maybe 1/4 of an inch. Did the whole car. So lots of applications for pennies, but not the best performance in a couple key areas. One is sheeting. You can see that, well, it's not really sheeting that much, even on this fairly sloped part. It's just beading. I mean, it's beading okay, and the beads run together and it'll fall off, but it's not that slick. It's clean, it's totally clean, I just washed it. The sun is just now peeking out, so I'm gonna dry it right now. It's been raining all day, and right up until now had been overcast, so it's the perfect time to wash a car. You don't have to worry about water spots. But you can see that even on the sides, it's sticking, all right? So that's fresh Hydro Slick. In comparison, the wife's car has just over 1,000 miles on it, and I applied the 5H from Glossit right after we got it. So it hasn't been washed or anything. It's slicker right now than that is, even after that's been washed. So let's toss some water on here, see what it does. You can see it sheets right off. That's the difference between pure ceramic coating and the sprays or the gels or any of the cheap solutions. This is what you want, and you only get this with the good stuff. So the other reason was actually more important and prompted me to do it right now. I knew I was going to experiment with other stuff, but not right this second. Let me show you. So the other day, I noticed a big blob of white bird crap, and it was luckily right here in the middle of this big flat section. It's obviously gloss black. This part is plastic. This is metal. I don't know if it would have made any difference, but it ate right through the coating and right into my clear coat. I don't know if I can see it right now, but it left such a stain that it took multiple machine polishing sessions to get it out. When I hosed it off, it all came off. That was okay, but it left this huge silver blob. You couldn't feel it. It was a stain, and it was the acid from the bird poop that just ate through everything. And I just kept polishing and polishing, you know, trying to be as least aggressive as possible. All right, good, so I can't see it now. I could barely see like a ghost image inside. I did it under my big lights, but here in regular light, I can't tell. But it was about that big. There's a little one somewhere around here. And that Hydro Slick did not protect it at all, not one bit. And it had only been on there a day at maximum before I noticed it and hosed it off. So that was terrible. The real ceramic coating does protect against that very well. So of course, right as I'm drying the car, just about done, it spritzes one last time. So I got to go over it once more, get off the little drops. Now, if I had just clayed the car or just polished it or anything like that, I would be using the prep spray that came with the kit. But since this is just pure clean, I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure everything's dry, and we will be ready to put on the ceramic coat. So slight change of plan as I was going over and just making sure that I didn't have any fingerprints or water spots anywhere. You need to make sure everything is absolutely perfect before you apply your coating. I found just a few high spots. I don't know if it was from the original Glossit or from the last application of the Chemical Guys stuff, but nevertheless, there was a bit of a high spot. Now that's from applying your ceramic coat and not buffing it off evenly or forgetting a spot. And I think they were all in the lower doors. And I think it was because I was bending over when I was buffing, and I just probably skipped a little bit too far because they were kind of like lines. So if you catch it right away, no big deal. You just reapply another application and the solvent dissolves away all the high spots and just buff it off, good to go. Now that'll last, you get about 24 hours enabled to do that. Beyond that, if you've let it set, you need to power buff it off. So I went ahead and did a polishing session again, and I did all the lower halves of all the doors just to make sure everything's even. So now I'm gonna go ahead and use the surface prep, and this will get off any of the residue from the polish, and that'll make sure we get a nice clean surface. All right, got that done. That was super easy, and I can confirm by the smell of this stuff, yeah, it's just mostly alcohol, but just a quick wipe, really nothing to show, you can't see anything. Spritz the rag, spritz the doors, wipe it down, and good to go. And here's a bonus tip for getting white dried polish off of your black trim. Simple grain. I just blob the end of a towel. When I have a streak, I had some that I got off my wheel wells here. You just lightly dampen it and just give it a quick scrub, just directly on the blob, that's it. And then just wipe it off with the other clean end, comes right off. Easy peasy. And now for the fun part, and actually the easiest part. The prep is all done, now we can apply the coating. I'm gonna go ahead and use their applicator. It's very nice, it's a nice small size. The larger ones are easy to hold on to, but they do soak up a lot more product. This isn't a microfiber towel, it's more of a microfiber silk. So it leaves a really smooth feel, and it should give a nice even coat as we drag it. So we're going to apply the ceramic coat in a strip here, and then just use this to go across the car. We're going to go in a crisscross fashion. Just shake up your bottle real well. They want you to wear gloves. I never have in the past. It doesn't do anything, it just washes right off. Like I said, it's mostly just solvent. And the most important thing is make sure your paint, I gotta put that away first. Make sure your paint, whatever section you're doing, is perfect. I mean perfect. No fingerprints, no lint, no dust, no contaminants, nothing. If you see something wrong, fix it. You don't have to do the whole car in one shot. So make sure that whatever you're doing is perfect. Keep a rag handy. Give each section a quick wipe down right before you apply it. And you're golden. It's going to be super easy. So let me put this away real quick and we'll get started. Now I am in hot and humid Florida. Dry time for me is going to be very different from someplace that's very dry. So what I'm going to be doing is working in a section that is going to give me 30 to 60 seconds to cover it, and then I need to immediately buff it off. So I'm overlapping my strokes here by about half the applicator. That's about as big as I want to go. We'll do a cross section here, and if you look in the light, you can see the wavy product. So if you know what to look for, totally easy to see where you've done. You do have to have good lights though. Luckily I do. Now if you don't, that's where the UV part of this comes in really handy, because we can just turn off the lights, which I'll do in just a second, and we'll be able to see exactly where the product is without having to bob our head and know what to look for. So I would have started at a different corner, but just for filming purposes, make sure you set that tipping up. Let me grab the UV light real quick, turn off these lights. I'm pushing it here. I really should be buffing it right about now. But like I said, if you do overextend, you can just reapply it. Okay, so it's looking very different on the camera because the camera sensor isn't picking this up. But, okay, there you can see the difference. See where it changes, where it's applied and where it's not? It's easier, believe me, with my eye, but it looks blue where it's applied. And there it doesn't. So it's easy enough to do either way. I prefer without the light just because it's quicker. Now I gotta buff that off real quick. And this doesn't require any kind of pressure. I'm just kind of letting the towel do the work. You'll feel it just kind of soak up what's there if there's any residue left, and now it's getting easier to move the towel. So I'm gonna flip it over. You can use any microfiber towel you want, just make sure it's of course lint-free. Now it's getting even easier and feeling a little slick. And it'll cure over the next 24 hours. So you need to keep it out of the rain for 24 hours, and then it will be set. So we get a nice gloss. We had a nice gloss to begin with, so I'm not expecting to see any difference here. I'm just looking at the light reflections there. Remember, this is already the Chemical Guys stuff on it down here, and then moving up to where we just applied. See if I could feel anything. Yeah. This starts to drag. This is slick. Very big difference. And it's not because this is 2 weeks old. This is still very fresh, trust me. This is the same way it went on. But the real ceramic coat in the wife's car is the same way with the Glossit. Nice and slick. And it'll be even slicker in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of the car. It goes very quickly if you're not filming a freaking video. Woo! Okay, we're done. So that wasn't too bad. That took about an hour. And this is a good size car. I mean, it's big enough where I need a ladder to reach the roof. And it's got a lot of painted metal areas. Let me show you where'd the jar go, how much I used. I'm liberal with it too. And I used about a third. It's right about there. About a third of the bottle. So little 50 ml goes a long way. And like I said, I wasn't being stingy. It's cheap. Just do it right. So a quick tip for applying it, and this goes for any type that you're doing. After you buff it off, after you buff off an area, if you see a line, if you see where you just buffed off, it looks extra glossy, it looks extra good, you left it on there too long. You're not supposed to see anything different like that. So if that happens, just go ahead and reapply in that area, let the solvent reabsorb it and reactivate it, and buff it off a little bit sooner, and then you shouldn't see a line. Oh, these damn yellow flies are out. Glad I'm done, because they freaking bite. They're like deer flies for those of you up north. They really suck. And they just came out this week. So, bada bing, bada boom. After you're done, just let it keep out of rain for 24 hours. It'll fully cure. It'll get even slicker. So it's already nice and slick now. But tomorrow, I'll be able to just toss a rag on it and it'll go right off. Water will now sheet off, just like I showed you on the wife's. And it's going to be good for several years. Just washing normally. Love it. So there you go. I'll put links to down everything. Put links to down there. I'm tired. I'll put links to everything down below in case you're interested. See you next time.